So let's talk about that nightmare scenario in programmatic out of home. You know the one. You launch campaign for luxury brand, you target retail, and then the report comes back.
And half your ads ran on some flickering screen in a corner bodega?
Exactly. You're expecting a high-end mall and you got, well, not that.
It's the classic black box problem. I mean, that ambiguity is exactly why digital out-of-home has really struggled to pull big budgets from other digital channels.
Because if an algorithm can't tell the difference, the buyer just isn't going to take the risk.
Right.
Well, it seems like the main excuse for that ambiguity just, vanished. The OAAA released their new OpenOOH venue taxonomy this past Tuesday.
And it is a very big deal. Looking at the specs, this isn't just cleaning up a few definitions. It's a whole new data infrastructure.
A total overhaul. So we're moving from these sort of broad, sloppy buckets to a much stricter schema.
Yeah, a strict parent-child, grandchild schema.
Which sounds good on paper, but, does it actually solve the problem? Or is it just adding more confusing submenus?
No, it solves it.
Yeah.
It solves it because it forces everyone to speak the same language. Before, you just had transit. That was it.
And transit could be anything.
Anything. A bus stop, a train station, an airport. Now, transit is the parent. Under that, airports is the child. And this is the really key part. Baggage claim is the grandchild.
So you can target the very specific mindset of someone waiting for their bag.
Exactly. Not just someone somewhere in a transportation hub.
Which brings us to the more technical side of this, the deprecation of that venuetypestring field. I was actually surprised they killed it off completely.
It had to go. I mean, that field was pure chaos. It was free text.
So publishers could just type in whatever they wanted.
Right. One person writes gym, another writes fitness center, a third writes workout area.
And a DSP's algorithm just sees that as, what, digital noise? It can't connect the dots.
It's impossible to work with at scale. So by getting rid of it and forcing the new taxonomy, the OAAA is essentially making the physical world machine readable.
Okay, so let's apply this to the sort of CTV problem, because I feel like this is where the new environmental context really clicks.
Yeah, this is a great example.
We talk about screens being screens, but a TV in a loud sports bar is not the same as a TV in someone's living room.
Right. And that's where so much ad spend gets wasted. If you're a movie studio running a dramatic trailer that needs audio to work.
A muted TV in a noisy bar is completely useless inventory.
Totally useless. And under the old entertainment bucket, you might have bought that screen by mistake.
And now, with the new taxonomy.
Now, you can filter for that. The environment is differentiated. You can screen out the noisy bar if you need audio. Or, and this is the interesting part, if you're a beer brand.
You can specifically target those muted bar screens.
Yes. You turn a bug into a feature. You're buying the exact context you want.
It seems like this really shifts the power dynamic in the market. The huge players like an Outfront or Clear Channel, they have whole sales teams to explain their inventory.
The trust me model.
Yeah, they can get on the phone and say, hey, I know this just says transit, but it's actually a premium screen in an airport lounge.
But the smaller, more niche publishers, they don't have that luxury. They can't hold an agency's hand through a buy. They have to rely on the data in the bid stream.
So if the data is suddenly standardized and crystal clear,
their inventory becomes just as visible, just as valuable to the algorithms. If a small network has screens in, say, pharmacies near the prescription counter, which is a real grandchild node now, a pharma advertiser can find them instantly.
it democratizes the whole market.
It really does. Pre-match pure ale at Outfront even suggested this could move a lot of revenue out of private deals and into the open marketplace.
Because the trust is now built into the data itself.
Exactly. The trust gap closes, so
Yeah.
the money flows more freely in the open exchange. It just lowers the friction for everyone.
It really feels like we're watching digital out-of-home take its final step into becoming a truly digital channel.
I think so. We're finally treating physical screens with the same data rigor we use for a banner ad on a website.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. If physical screens are now as categorized, indexed, and targetable as the web, does the distinction between online and offline advertising even matter anymore?
Or is it all just becoming one seamless omni-channel stream?
Yeah, I think the walls are definitely coming down.
They are.
Something to chew on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.